With Season of Dawn coming to a close in the next few weeks, the highly anticipated Season of the Worthy is almost upon us. Why is it so highly anticipated? Trials, of course. Trials of Osiris is back.
Oh, I forgot to put a rainy maker on.
Gotta make that rain.
Make it rain. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, let's get right into it. Right about now, at the time of this recording, Guardians across the galaxy are still farming and scrounging and damn near selling their souls for obelisk and Sate 14 bounties to do weapon frames, and get that glimmer so they can get their, god roll weapon of choice like a trophy hunter, I think is the big thing now. Everyone's trying to get their guns now because with the current model that Bungie has in place, at the end of the season, as we all know, the guns are going away. Let's talk about Trials of Osiris. Brother Vance is hitting the gym and dusting off his robes as he's going to be one busy yellow-robed lighthouse barista serving up trials and tribulations across the galaxy. Business will be booming. Guardians everywhere will be getting their trial cards and boons in order to try to book a first-class flight to the lighthouse. Will it be similar to Trials and OG Destiny? I'm thinking yes, especially with everything that we've heard so far.
Feeling pretty.
However, and you knew there was a however coming, before we get ahead of ourselves, my question is, will it be the answer to what so many PvP players complain about right now? Crucible. It seems, and I'm sure many in the PvP community feel like they have been neglected by Bungie. Hell, some of them feel like they've been picked on and had their toys stolen right from under their noses. Pinnacle weapons like Recluse, Lunas, and Not Forgotten have been nerfed to damn near extinction. We've all seen the posts and tweets about how toxic Crucible is right now, how broken it is, how something needs to be done, how unrewarding it is compared to PvE, how grindy the quests for weapons like, like Redrick's broadsword are, and how it's not worth it. I can only shake my head and say, have you played Trials before? If Crucible is the playground of PvP, then Comp is that dimly lit alleyway around the corner. Home of the free and land of the tryhards. A few will peek down the alley and even fewer will walk all the way down that alley. Trials is down that alley. Now I will grant you, Crucible needs a lot of tender loving care. However, there seems to be this false belief or assertion that Trials will not suffer from the same issues that plague Crucible and Comp right now. For those of us that have played Trials before, you will remember all the lag switching, DDoSing, and cheats used by players to get to the tower. Admit it, you said that last line in your Arnold voice. Get to the tower. But I digress. Is that any different than Comp now? How is Trials of Osiris in Destiny 2 going to be implemented? Will it still be 3 losses and you're out? Who knows? At least with this current iteration of Comp, 3 losses in a row won't set you back to the very beginning, unless of course you just started. Will Trials, try to implement that same kind of soft cushioning system? If they did, how would you feel about it? Would it bring you the same sense of accomplishment it would in D1? There are so many questions that will remain unanswered, obviously, until the season drops. Right now people are worried and concerned, and rightfully so, concerned about the artifact and how it's going to affect Trials. If someone can just, simply level up their artifact to an ungodly level, and without really having the skill of the old trial system. And now, it's a disadvantage for people, going into Trials. Anybody can just rank that artifact up and have an unfair advantage or, a greater advantage as opposed to how it was done before. So that's, I said, like, it's a serious concern. Bungie needs to address it. I don't think they've done a really good job or a clear job of addressing that aspect of it. So people are, a little worried about it. And one of my other concerns is also if there's going to be some sort of, kind of stealth SBMM or skill-based matchmaking in trials. If they're gonna sneak that in there somehow, some way, because they always seem to, that seems to always crop its ugly head in most games, and Destiny is no exception. Yeah, and of course, with the return of trials, we will be also be getting something that's a very big concern, which is an influx of trials Sherpas, promising to get you to the lighthouse, for a nominal fee, of course. How will that affect your experience? I truly hope Bungie has found some new, innovative system to introduce trials that will, eliminate many of the core issues we currently have in the PvP realm. Otherwise, it won't be that much different than comp. We haven't had a Trials activity since Trials of the Nine ended in August of 2018. So hopefully Trials of Osiris is not going to be just a weekend event. It would be great if it was a mainstay, Crucible activity. Especially since we've gone to all the trouble of rebuilding the Empyrean Foundation. And as much as I like Crucible and comp, you know, D2, desperately D2's PvP, desperately needs a makeover. It needs to be shaken up and trimmed down to a more manageable option, with a less confusing, selection display. The one thing I think for certain is that trials will not, definitely not satisfy everyone. It'll scratch that itch, but I'm sure, the once that initial itch is scratched, it's going to go back to, being right, where it was before. It's just you get the big population boost, and then it just kind of dies right back down. It's going to have, its share of toxicity. It will have its, share of cheaters, haters, and defenders. But hopefully it will be worthy. So right now, that about wraps it up for this video. Please let me know what your expectations are and, hopes for trials, if any. Do you think it will be better than Crucible or Comp, on how it's currently formatted? And are you all in? So please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching. Have a great night. Dude, you're not gonna. I'm not. Oh, oh. You want a slide shot? You want a slide shot? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I guess you must have been in the menu, kid. Oh. Thank you. One more up there, whoever's there. Hope you see him. He's coming in with the shotgun. Oh, you tethered him. Beautiful. I like when people just come sliding across the map all the time with shotguns. You got enough room to maneuver. You just back up, they don't know what to do themselves.
Zone C captured. Ah yes, the hunt is on.
Oh, let's get that booty.